So here I am. My name is Lisa Richardson from SoloMomLife Magazine. I'm here with Leigh Mercree, and we are talking about her SpiritualGirlsGuide.com and her philosophy on dating for women, dating spiritually and finding Mr. Right for your. Thank you, Amy, for being with us. Can you tell us a little more about yourself?
Thanks for having me, Lisa. It's great to be here. And I'm a spiritual dating coach and medical intuitive, and I've been practicing for about 11 years. And so I help people find not only their life's purpose a lot of the time, but especially around the topic of dating, I help people identify what they need to do to get in a clean, clear, healthy place and then date in a way that is emotionally satisfying. And I call it spiritual dating. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I think more of us should do more things with our lives spiritually.
Right. A lot of the philosophies of spiritual dating can carry over through the rest of your life as well. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so tell me more about spiritual
dating in a nutshell is dating as if all people are sacred. And when I say sacred for the purposes of this interview and my books, it's spiritual but not necessarily religious. So dating as if all people are sacred means dating from a place of deep respect and love for yourself, and also seeing that kind of potential in your dates. So even if someone isn't the right person for you, you recognize that they are sacred, they're worthy of respect, they're worthy of love, even if it's not in the context of dating for you. And think about how that could probably be a challenge if somebody's hurt you. But imagine how that can kind of carry forth through your life. Seeing all people as sacred means even if you're totally annoyed with the driver who cut you off, let's say, even if you feel anger at that and it's problematic, you can still remember that they're worthy of respect and love, and try to come from a less reactive space. So it's kind of about making conscious choices. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do when someone cuts you off in traffic?
Usually I don't do much. And actually just the other day my husband said, wow, you must be really grouchy because you actually beeped your horn at someone because someone did that. And I said, yeah, that's about as irritable as I get, is a little horn beep. But, that's just me. Everybody's different. So.
Okay, that's great. And you're probably a very, very peaceful person.
So
I don't think I could.
I don't know. I mean, everybody has their moments. You know what I mean? Certain times when there's chocolate needed and stuff like that, I might not be as peaceful.
Okay. Tell me more about what it means to authentically love yourself and how that plays into meeting dates spiritually. Authentically loving yourself, a big part of that is authentic behavior. So you start where you authentically love yourself and you see all of the wonderful things about yourself. You focus on self-love, and sometimes we have to kind of fake it till we make it with that stuff. But you do that and you have that focus, and then from that space of authentically loving yourself, authentic behavior comes forth. And so that kind of comes into play as far as when you're on a date, being your true self. So a very obvious example is not pretending that, say, you like heavy metal because your date does, or not, saying, yeah, I love action movies, even though you like romantic comedies. Not that you wouldn't be willing to explore your date's interest, but being authentic, being yourself, and being able to do that because you do love yourself. You feel that you're worthy and you can see all the good things about you, and in that way you're also coming from a place of inner strength, which
makes life easier, certainly your love life easier, but makes life easier anyways, too.
Yeah, I think it's hard for some women to admit when they're on a date that, okay, it's okay for me to not like what he likes. He won't not like me if I don't like him.
Exactly. And I'm sure we all know women, and we may have even all been in relationships in our lives where maybe we've pretended, we do like football, and then years later we're like, well, I don't actually like it. I've just been watching it because she liked it, you know? I mean, if we can be honest.
Yeah, and I'm sure
at least we can be honest and upfront about who we are. I think we have a better chance of finding the right partner that way. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so tell me about the 3 types of men.
Boy, is that a question. Everybody wants to know about that, I'll tell you. I did an interview this morning and they asked about it, and a couple months ago they asked about it too. Everybody's like, tell us, what do you want to know? Who can avoid?
Tell us, should we get it? Should we run away from?
So 3 men to avoid. The first of the 3 men to avoid is, I call him the cheater, also known as the low self-esteemer. And that's self-explanatory. That's someone who might be prone to infidelity. And I kind of divide those guys into 2 categories. Category 1 is the kind of seemingly alpha male guy who, is seeking that next conquest and is validating his wonderful alpha manliness, however he sees himself, and it could be anything, through those conquests. Sometimes those guys might even come off to our friends as arrogant or things like that. The other one of the low self-esteem, the low self-esteemer, cheater type of guy, is the guy whose self-esteem is extremely low. He might be really shy, not that is necessarily a bad thing, but and that guy, he might feel like, oh, he gets you as a date, and that enhances his self-esteem a little bit from an external source. And then as other women come into his life and are interested in him or give him that vibe, he needs to go after it because he's addicted to the validation of, these women do like me and they'll be intimate with me, so I am worthy. Feeding the low self-esteem. So, it's kind of a no-brainer. Avoid cheaters. But let's just see why they're cheaters, because they're low self-esteemers. And not every guy with low self-esteem will cheat either. That's a good disclaimer. But it's something to watch for. The second of the 3 men to avoid is the guy who doesn't have respect for women. And some of what I'll say about this, all guys might not agree with, but at least you're a lady and we're talking to mostly ladies, so I think we might all agree. The guy who doesn't have respect for women, some signs we could find about that guy would be he's really into sexist jokes, passes them around a lot, believes them, heavily interested perhaps in pornography and things of that nature, and talks badly about women, in conversation with his buddies will say, oh yeah, that chick was a slut, or, things that are disrespectful towards women. You can tell if a man is disrespectful towards women, and I just say to ladies, let's avoid that. Let's not reward those guys for that behavior by overlooking it. Let's just be real and know if we choose to be with someone who has those kind of ideas, we're a woman and it may end up having a lot of effect on our lives. And
true.
Yeah. And the third of the 3 men to avoid is if you are a woman who's looking for a soulmate relationship, probably a long-term relationship, then you would want to avoid the terminal bachelor. Because you might be barking up the wrong tree. Some things that could tip you off to the terminal bachelor. Thing one, if he says he doesn't believe in marriage, he's not going to marry you. I mean, it sounds like such a no-brainer, but we think, oh, well, this might be the relationship that's going to change his mind, even though he told you in the beginning he doesn't believe in marriage. It's probably not going to change his mind. Second sign of the terminal bachelor, if he has children with, especially multiple, but one or more women to whom he hasn't been married. Because, a lot of times if someone's going to get married and try to be in a committed relationship, they would certainly do it for children. So that's a sign as well. And third, if he's over 45, 50 years old and has never been married, it doesn't necessarily mean he's a terminal bachelor. Perhaps he really just hadn't found the right person, but you might keep your eyes open for that. A very simple way to find that out in a relationship is to ask questions. Ask, do you believe in marriage? What are your thoughts on marriage? Do you see yourself married someday? I know, we hear in popular culture, never bring up the M word,
Right.
Eventually you gotta do it, though. So, looking out for those signs might tip you off beforehand. And then you can be aware of it. So, those are the 3 men to avoid. And there's sort of a fourth one, too. Sometimes, I think sometimes people hear it's 3, and sometimes people hear it's 4. And the fourth one is the separated and fancy-free guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You already went, oh, yeah.
I've heard that guy, yeah.
That guy, the main issue with that guy is that he's not yet divorced, and he hasn't processed the breakup that he's going through, and he's jumping into something else. And unless you're just looking for a fancy, free, non-serious thing, you should avoid that guy, too. Yeah.
Absolutely. I
agree with that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now who to avoid. How can a woman become more magnetic and attract the right guy for her?
Magnetic people are confident. They're real, they're authentic, and they love themselves and they feel comfortable in their skin. So if you can focus on authentic behavior and building yourself up, working through your own issues and really seeing how wonderful you are, I think that's half the battle, so to speak, as far as attracting the right guy. If you can see yourself as sacred and worthy of respect and expect that, only accept that, that's also gets you on the road to a much better situation. As far as attracting the right person, I think it's really important to define your intention. So to really look at what are you looking for in a relationship. You hear about, I remember I heard a story, Star Jones, who used to be on The View, an author, before she met her husband, she made a list of all the qualities she wanted, and, it attracted her man, she felt. I know people have different variations of that they do, and maybe the qualities aren't as important as the intention. I am looking for this kind of relationship, which is whatever, caring, loving, full of laughter and kindness, whatever you're looking for, passionate. And this is what it would feel like. And I'm saying to life, I'm ready for that. I've done all the things that I need to do to get ready, which would be, going through your past dating patterns, clearing any unmet needs that you've been trying to meet through dating, looking at red flags in past relationships so you feel confident that you can spot those next time, so you can trust yourself, all those kinds of things. And then really defining your intention. What are you looking for? And I kind of like the idea of making a physical representation of it. in my book, I guide the reader through making a love life roadmap. And that is, it's composed of 6 different kind of areas on your piece of paper or poster board. And we won't go through all of them because it would take a long time. But basically, it helps you define your intention. What are you looking for? What kind of relationship are you looking for? What will it feel like? What will it be like? Why are you such a wonderful catch? And then saying to life, yeah, I'm ready for this. So, hope that answered your question.
Yes, absolutely. And
Good.
I think that everything that you have to say is going to be very helpful to the women, especially as we come up on Valentine's Day and everyone gets excited, or maybe even if you're single, maybe you get a little depressed, knowing that there are ways out, there are things you can do to kind of just steer the universe towards bringing you who should be with you.
Yes.
And so,
definitely. And having faith that's out there too is just so important.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
The faith is very, very important to the process as well.
I think so. Yeah. For sure.
Well, Amy, I want to thank you for speaking with us.
Great.
And I will make sure that we do some information on your book as well.
Great.
And I look forward to talking with you.
I would love that. Yeah, it was a pleasure, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Have a great day. Thanks.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.